Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So yesterday we started breaking down all of these new Cavalier difficulty buffs. We went class by class and we managed to get through first three. So yesterday we did Cosmic, Tech and Science, of whom I found them to be varied degrees of success, and I was looking forward to some of them definitely. However, now we have to talk about the skill one, and we're going to carry on talking about the others in upcoming videos today as well. But let's just first and foremost break down everything that this skill buff set will do, and then what champions we can use and how viable it is. So, skillful distraction. Skill attackers prevent the defender's evade abilities while the defender is suffering from disorient, incinerate, or shock effect. So disorient, incinerate, or shock, as soon as you have that applied on your opponent, they cannot evade. Second buff, skill attackers gain an indefinite passive fury, increasing attack rating by 35% each time defender's evade effect is prevented in any way other than ability accuracy reduction. And this is a bit of a deal breaker, and we're going to discuss that in a second. So last one will be can't touch this. We know what this node does. Defender has a passive 50% chance to evade all attacks in addition to any base abilities. So basically, everyone's going to be evading like crazy, like Spider-Man on steroids on every base champion that you're going to be facing. Now the good news is, obviously, if you can have easy access to Disorient, Incinerate, or Shock on a skill champion, you have nothing to worry about. And then that big attack boost comes if you have access to Incinerate, Disorient, or Shock. Right. Let's actually check out the problem though. These are all champions that are currently available in the game. Every single one of them in skill class. Of whom I believe only 2 champions can access Disorient, Incinerate, or Shock on base kit easily, which is Black Widow Deadly Origins. She does have very simple, straightforward access to shock effects on her base combos. And then we have Elsa Bloodstone, wherever she is. Here we go. She can access to Incinerate or Cold Snap if the opponent has not yet evaded. But if you just parry medium, you should be fine. You can put that Incinerate on and then gonna be unable to evade. So it's 2 champions, and one of them is still kind of like on a condition. Because remember, if a champion has evaded previously, instead of Incinerate, she applies Cold Snap, and you can say goodbye to your Furies more than likely. But we'll deal with that in a second. Rest of these champions do not have simple access to any of those buffs. Now, we do have, for instance, new Netflix Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. If you have synergy with Electra, you can apply Disorient on the opponent when you heavy, which is fair enough, but still it requires like 10 combo and you have to build to that, so it won't be straightforward. Then you have Gwenpool, who can Incinerate on a level 1, but again, you have to get to that level 1. Who else we have? We have Massacre, where you have to ignite the bat in order to get them Incinerates on. But if opponents consistently evading your attacks, it's gonna be close to impossible, because you have to continuously keep striking their block. Now have Mole Man, which is likely gonna be a decently good option, because you apply shock on your level 1 and you start the fight with true accuracy, so Mole Man will be a decently good option just because you will not have that problem of getting to that initial point where you apply shock or incinerate or disorient. Now we have Nick Fury. Nick Fury is still going to be awesome, obviously, because he applies disorient in level 1. Night Rusher is going to be a great option here as well, because he has access to shock, incinerate, and disorient, and can shut down evades in his base kit, so he's going to be quite great. But that's kind of it. You obviously have, let's say, Spidey here. You can stop opponents from evading if he can land the full combo, which might not be easy in this situation. And then we have, I don't know, Black Widow, you know, Crossbones that all reduce opponent's ability accuracy. We have Falcon, we have Killmongers, and plenty of champions who can shut down the evades, but all of that is done with ability accuracy reduction. So realistically, we only have a handful of options for this node if we want to benefit from that massive fury, which is kind of the whole point of these Cavalier difficulty quests, because if you are really, really pressed, you want to bring in a counter that would function semi-normally in order to counter some specific hard problem fights. But as you are going through these quests, you don't want to do that for every single quest, because then the entire thing just gets extremely long and boring. So that, in my opinion, is a huge problem. Definite huge oversight there, without not including the rest of the damage over time debuff types, or not counting those fury buff increases basically whenever you provide opponents with period with a skill champion. Then that could be somewhat better as well. The way it stands right now, I definitely see this possibly being the most problematic one. Because as I said, there's only like one real champion that has very, very easy access to those debuffs on base kit. And if you access Incinerate or Shock with the skill champion, and you're like level 2, but getting to a level 2 whilst the opponent is going to be evading 50% of your hits, will largely limit you to playing parry 2 combos, or something of the sort. So overall, I definitely do not like the design of the skill node. I do hope that it's going to be changed and pronto. And there is a relatively simple option there. Again, if you just exclude this line in any other way than ability accuracy reduction, you'd be fine. Because then you can jump back into Outmay, and you can see that, for instance, Agent Venom could benefit from it because he has like 50% evade ability reduction. Black Widow could benefit from it. Blade, to a degree, perhaps. Crossbones would benefit from it. Daredevil would benefit. Falcon would. Gwenpool would, better than she is now. Hitmonkey, Killmonger, Karnak. Even Kingpin has ability accuracy reduction. And yeah, a whole, like, yeah, Ronin and Stealthy and Taskmaster. All of those champions would automatically become viable, and it would be much easier to fight that. But unfortunately, it is what it is right now, so keep in mind Black Widow, Deadly Origins, Night Thrasher, Elsa, and obviously like Nick Fury and possibly Mole Man after the buff are likely going to be the best options. Then Gwenpool could put in some work, and probably a couple more champions. But overall, I'm kind of willing to bet that outside of a couple of skill champions, you're just going to end up bringing in champions from different classes who can deal with the weight. For instance, there is no good reason to try and do these fights, let's say, with Mole Man, if you can just bring in Ghost, because Ghost can shut down opponents' weights completely. And that's it. Just bring in an evade counter. You can bring in Quake, you can bring in Ghost, you can bring in Corvus with Proximus Energy, acts as a True Strike. You can bring in a ton of evade counters from different classes, which, again, is what I think most people will end up doing, because skill class is objectively one of the weaker classes. And yeah, there are just better options elsewhere, and you're gonna end up doing that quest without that huge fury buff, which was the intended purpose of the Cavalier difficulty, and it again defeats the purpose of this node design. So my prediction here is that this is going to be one of the problem quests. Hopefully, first month, it's one of the first quests, so it's shorter with less path and weaker opponents, and they fix it by month 2, when it could potentially be 5th or 6th quest, and you have to do 6-7 paths in it, and all of them will drag like forever. Because yeah, quite honestly, I think 90% of the people who are going to attempt this are just gonna end up using your Corvus, your Ghost, your whatevers that deal with the weight, and that's it. Right. That is about it for the skill quest. So I do have still the last 2 classes coming up, which are Mutant and Mystic. Please do stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you want to hit that sub button, that would be absolutely tremendous. And see you guys soon. proceed with. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about